Take two. This is a conversation with Jay Forman. First one, I wasn't very clear. This is Jay and Robert. Hey, everybody. So Jay, tell us what you wanted kids to get out of this class today.
Today's class was an enormous success. I wanted all the kids to understand their melody responsibilities in Canon of Peace. We accomplished that and then some.
What does that mean?
That means that, so Canon of Peace is a musical canon, meaning that the melody is passed between multiple sections, and then there are counter melodies that play against it. But everyone has the responsibility of the melody at one point or another. So we all started practicing the song from various places. Flutes and clarinets have the melody at measure 1, altos have the melody at 41, trumpets at 9, low brass, low woodwinds at 17. So if everyone starts in their given melody first spot, we can all count and clap the same rhythm, and we can learn the melody super fast.
What percent of kids do you think got that?
I think 80, 85 today. There were some who wanted a little more attention but didn't actually need the help, who I didn't give that attention to. And then there's a couple in the low brass and the clarinets who might need to see it and hear it a few more times. But because we have this first foundation, as they come back tomorrow and it sinks in and marinates in their minds, it's gonna feel a lot more familiar to them, and they'll be able to catch right on.
Yeah. So this might seem like a silly question, maybe an obvious question, but how do you know that the kids who got it?
I'm listening. So first of all, if I'm hearing a lot of discrepancies, then clearly we've got to address some things. I was really happy that all I had to say was look at your key signature. I didn't have to have kids name, low brass and concert pitched instruments are naming 3 flats. They didn't know, but they played them. You could hear clearly they're playing their flats.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. I mean, I can imagine there's a different way to get kids to play the melody for this song that involves having them name the key signature, name the notes. Why didn't you do all that?
I think that we're past that. For a key center that they know, they warm up in the key of A flat. They've been doing so since September, maybe October. So they've been playing this major scale as well as the finger study that goes with it, long tones on it and articulations on it, as well as a few other keys. Mm-hmm. But they've been playing this for long enough that they know now. We've taught that material. So to make them do it again from the beginning is just waste of time at this point.
Yeah. At one point, I was thinking, one thing you could have done is you could have modeled for kids what it would sound like, but you didn't do that. Why not?
I didn't model what it would sound like because I wanted to see what they were actually reading. And so developing the capacity for oral skills and playing music is an important trait or important skill. It's one that right now can develop a little bit more naturally. If I just rely on their oral skills, they've got great oral skills for like a just starting bass. And if they do that, they're not going to learn to just read the notes. They're gonna wait to hear it to learn how to play it. So I'd rather that they go through the process, struggle a little bit, and read it correctly.
Right. Is there anything that, thinking about it now, I know it just happened, that you would go back and do differently?
That particular class, where we are with our culture, no, I wouldn't. I would like to think that next year when I'm teaching material like this, that I don't have to wait as much for talking to lower, and I do anticipate that happening. So, but I think that I'm addressing it in a way that's appropriate for this class and the journey that we've been on.
That's great. While we're here, that'll give you a quick push, something that was on my mind that I was thinking. One was, there were some kids who, like through the process of repetition, were getting closer and closer and closer to it. The other kids who were they played it right the first time, then they played it right the second time, played it right the third time. And I was thinking it would be nice to give them a stretch Like, hey, if you've got all the notes and rhythms right,
Yep.
here's something that you can work on next as like an overall framework every time you see a new piece of music, right? You get the notes, you get the rhythms, and then you always try to do this thing next. What do you think would come next in this case?
So the first thing is the first two measures of the melody where we go to a low concert B flat, which is a pedal tone because it happens twice. And we've got to put a little bit more air on that note to make the whole line sound balanced. And that's a push that I should have made. So thanks for pointing that out. I should have made that push. Also, kids that are reading notes and rhythms fluidly, they should be adding in articulation and very aware of where a slur stops. I think sometimes they're starting slurs, continuing them. And I probably could have made that push without the momentum of the class suffering. So then that's a push to make.
I mean, it would take 5 seconds, right?
Yep.
Hey, those of you who've got this, pay attention to the phrasing. Look at where that slur stops and starts. Go. And you don't harp on it, but you just say, like, that's what I'm talking about.
Right.
That's good. That would be the only push that I could think of. And then beyond that is, how would you categorize what you just said about the pedal tones so it applies to other pieces of music as well?
So that's something that I've taught, I don't want to say all year, it's something that I've touched on. I'm going to, like, it's a refined level of musicianship.
Right.
To push a lower note and make it louder. There's two reasons that you do it. For brass players, if you've got a low note followed directly by a high note, the human nature tendency is to save gas for the high note, and that actually is going to make the high note really difficult to play.
Right.
So you want the momentum of your air being full on that low note, and then all you have to do is change the shape of your mouth, and the high note will come right out.
Yeah.
Easier said than done. But the other thing is from a musical sense, you want everything to sound very even.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
The evenness of air, because you want to lessen the air, although I guess it's more air.
Well, the thing is, the low note has to be played a little bit louder than the high note, because the high note is heard easier, it cuts.
So make it all sound, or use the amount of air you need to use.
Yep.
So it sounds uniform in terms of...
Yeah. So there have been some etudes where I've talked about this concept. We've got a low note moving to a high note. We want to fill up, use it as a trampoline for your high note.
Great.
Yeah. But that's just, that's not something that I've taught all year the same way that the concert A flat key signature has been ingrained in them.
Yeah. Speaking of that being ingrained in them, your warm-up takes what some people would say is a very, very long time, considering the length of your class. Why? Not why do they say that? Why do you do it for so long?
Yeah, I want to do it longer. And I want to play as many fundamentals as I can without diminishing returns, because it makes playing music so much easier. The reason that we were able to this song is in 3/4 time. We haven't read something in 3/4 time in a while. I haven't officially taught dotted quarter note rhythms. I've just explained them when they come up next year. That's something I want to do a better job of addressing. But they are comfortable with the instrument in their hand. If they see a B flat on this page, or if they see an E flat or an F, an A flat, so on and so forth, their body knows what to do because they've engaged in fundamentals. And it also taken that, I don't like this part of it. In an ideal world it wouldn't be, but it also gives me a little bit of time to sort of check the temperature of the room and get a few kids engaged that need a little bit of an extra push. There's so much repetition in our fundamentals that the class can pretty much function on its own for a few minutes, and I can maybe get a few more kids in that weren't in before. That's something that as we get older we're going to have to go away from, because everybody's just going to have to do their fundamentals. Part of the reason why there's a few kids that you notice not super engaged, they haven't been doing their fundamentals. They've needed those boosts, and now playing their instrument is difficult.
Yeah. So to paraphrase / add on, seems like it's like a fake paraphrase. It seems like the time that you spend on fundamentals, you actually get back and more. Like today, when you're teaching the round.
Oh, no question.
You were able to get through it because kids know how to play the notes because they've been working on the fundamentals.
Took me 3 days to teach this to sixth grade class. And one of the things, sixth grade class is shorter by 10 minutes, but we were done. I took 10 minutes and did something else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We were done before that time was over. We spend more time on fundamentals here because their class is shorter, and maybe I should have just kept them on fundamentals. You know, maybe I should have.
Yeah.
But it just, at that, you still want to do what feels fair to kids. You don't want to put them in a situation where they're working, and they don't see the reason.
Right.
Because then you're going to diminish returns.
Yeah, I would say if you were trying to make the case, which I know you're not, that fundamentals make kids not want to be in band,
Right.
then you just need to see the last minute where you told kids to pack up and everybody wanted to stay and keep playing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
And clearly it's not diminishing their love for music or
That's
desire
true.
to get better.
That's true. That's a good point.
All right. Thanks for your time.
Thank you,
Do you
sir.
remember our secret handshake?
No.
All right.
Yeah. What was it?
Ah, that was great.
Oh, yeah, it was
Good work.
good. Yeah. Good.